The most commonly used transistor configuration is the NPN transistor. The voltage between the base and emitter is positive at the base and negative at the emitter because for an NPN transistor, the base terminal is always positive with respect to the emitter. Also, the collector supply voltage is positive with respect to the emitter. So for a bipolar NPN transistor to conduct, the collector is always more positive with respect to both the base and the emitter. The collector is connected to the supply voltage VCC via the load resistor, RL, which also acts to limit the maximum current flowing through the device. The base supply voltage VB is connected to the base resistor RB, which again is used to limit the maximum base current. So in our NPN transistor, it is the movement of negative current carriers, electrons, through the base region that constitutes transistor action, since these mobile electrons provide the link between the collector and emitter circuits. Then we can see that the transistor is a current-operated device, beta model, and that a large current flows freely through the device between the collector and the emitter terminals when the transistor is switched fully on. However, this only happens when a small biasing current is flowing into the base terminal of the transistor at the same time, thus allowing the base to act as a sort of current control input. The transistor current in a bipolar NPN transistor is the ratio of these two currents, IC over IB, called the DC current gain of the device, and is given the symbol of HFA nowadays beta. Also, the current gain of the transistor from the collector terminal to the emitter terminal, IC over IA, is called alpha, and is a function of the transistor itself, electrons diffusing across the junction. As the emitter current IA is the sum of a very small base current plus a very large collector current, the value of alpha is very close to unity, and for a typical low-power signal transistor this value ranges from about 0.950 to 0.999. By combining the two parameters alpha and beta, we can produce two mathematical expressions that gives the relationship between the different currents flowing in the transistor. One other point to remember about bipolar NPN transistors. The collector voltage must be greater and positive with respect to the emitter voltage, to allow current to flow through the transistor between the collector-emitter junctions. Also, there is a voltage drop between the base and the emitter terminal of about 0.7 volt for silicon devices, as the input characteristics of an NPN transistor are of a forward-biased diode. Then the base voltage, VBA, of our NPN transistor must be greater than this 0.7 volt, otherwise the transistor will not conduct with the base current given as. The common emitter configuration, as well as being used as a semiconductor switch to turn load currents on or off by controlling the base signal to the transistor in either its saturation or cutoff regions. Bipolar NPN transistors can also be used in its active region to produce a circuit which will amplify any small AC signal applied to its base terminal with the emitter grounded. If a suitable DC biasing voltage is firstly applied to the transistor's base terminal, thus allowing it to always operate within its linear active region, an inverting amplifier circuit called a single-stage common emitter amplifier is produced. One such common emitter amplifier configuration of an NPN transistor is called a Class A amplifier. Class A amplifier operation is one where the transistor's base terminal is biased in such a way as to forward bias the base emitter junction. The result is that the transistor is always operating halfway between its cutoff and saturation regions, thereby allowing the transistor amplifier to accurately reproduce the positive and negative halves of any AC input signal superimposed upon this DC biasing voltage. Without this bias voltage, only one half of the input waveform would be amplified. This common emitter amplifier configuration using an NPN transistor has many applications but is commonly used in audio circuits such as preamplifier and power amplifier stages. With reference to the common emitter configuration shown below, a family of curves known as the output characteristics curves relates the output collector current to the collector voltage, VCA, when different values of base current. Output characteristics curves are applied to the transistor for transistors with the same beta value. ADC, load line, can also be drawn onto the output characteristics curves to show all the possible operating points when different values of base current are applied. This is called setting the operating point or quiescent point. Q point for short, and this is shown below. The most important factor to notice is the effect of VCA upon the collector current when VCA is greater than about 1 volt. We can see that IC is largely unaffected by changes in VCA above this value, and instead it is almost entirely controlled by the base current. When this happens, we can say then that the output circuit represents that of a constant current source. The current flowing through the load resistor, RL, is equal to the collector current entering the transistor, which in turn corresponds to the supply voltage, minus the voltage drop between the collector and the emitter terminals, VCA, and is given as. Also, a straight line representing the dynamic load line of the transistor can be drawn directly onto the graph of curves above from the point of saturation, A, when VCA equals 0 to the point of cutoff, B, when IC equals 0, thus giving us the operating or Q point of the transistor. The slope of this load line is equal to the reciprocal of the load resistance, which is given as -1 over RL. Then we can define a NPN transistor as being normally off, but a small input current and a small positive voltage at its base relative to its emitter will turn it on, allowing a much large collector emitter current to flow. NPN transistors conduct when Vc is much greater than Va.